Hello and welcome to Miss Charlotte Astrology. My name is Charlotte. I'm a full-time working astrologer, and on this channel I analyze the astrological charts of public figures, and very often they are celebrities, and that will certainly be the case today as I'll be analyzing the Synastry chart of, would we call them an it couple? I feel like they sort of are. I know they're quite secretive and quiet. They've only made like one or two public appearances together, but I will be looking at the chart, the Synastry chart of Kylie Jenner and Timothée Chalamet. So they've been together for like a year. I thought they were off, like they quietly broke up or taking a break or whatever, but I just Googled them and they made an appearance together in Greece. I think they're holidaying together at the moment. So summer love, it's cute. I wanted to have a look at their synastry, what their chemistry was, what their chemistry is. How does he see her? How does she see him? Are there points of contention? Like, do they clash anywhere? Are they good for each other's image? And seeing how trauma plays into it, because I know Kylie is a very traumatized girl. Out of all the Kardashian Jenners, she's the one I have the most compassion for, because she didn't have a choice in the matter, and she hates being famous, which is funny because she's a Leo. You think they'd enjoy that stuff, but she's an 8th house Leo, so she's a Scorpio Leo, so she's very, very private, but she's forced to be very, very public, and her pain is just always on display. And it's just sometimes money can't buy you everything. Sometimes it's a curse, she's got to live up to a lot. She set the bar very high for herself very early on, and now she's having a trouble reaching it again and surpassing herself. He is a very famous up and coming actor. Like he's pretty much A-list. He's like one of the it boys right now. I've heard a few things about him. Like he's, as you can see, he's heavy Capricorn, but it's 5th house Capricorn. He's a typical like artiste actor. He's taken very seriously, and she is not. And they are together, and everybody's saying, oh, how, like, why is he with her? Why is she with him? Like, they're not each other's type. And I'm like, I look at their chart and I'm like, I see why they like each other and why they're probably more similar than we realize. Okay. So, before I dive in, I just want you guys to know that I do MP3 readings. They're below. You can click on that and order yours. They're sent to you via email. It's just a 15-minute recording of me like tearing apart your chart. Remember, if you order it, can you please like put in some questions, or are there specific things you want to know? Otherwise, I'm just going to go like crazy on the chart and let you know what I think and analyze it on my own. But if you need to give me context, if there's a situation, please type them in the notes. I also do, if you want to do something that's a little bit more within a budget and you don't want to do a full-on reading, you can actually do a DM reading with me on Instagram. So go follow me there. Take a screenshot of your receipt and your chart. Everything's linked in my bio and Instagram, and you can actually talk to me on there and I can have a look at your chart. Okay? And also I have members now. Hopefully it's visible to you right now, but I do have members. We only have one tier, but on that I'm going to be talking about astrocartography, transits. I'm going to Japan really soon, so I'm going to share my adventures. Japan is on my Venus line, so I want to talk about astrocartography and I've traveled a lot in my life, and so I want to share with you what I know based on my personal experiences, what I know about traveling the world according to your astrological placements, your lines. Okay. All right. Yeah, so that would be a great way to support me. Thank you. Okay, let me just have a drink. Tea. Okay, so this is our synastry chart. Kylie is the blue planets. She is the inner ring. And Timothée is the red planets. He is the outer ring. Kylie is a Leo sun with a Scorpio moon, and her rising is in Capricorn. Timothée is a Capricorn sun, a Pisces moon, and a Virgo rising. Okay, so that is their chart. We'll get back to it later, but I have carved it up to make it easier for us all. Finding direction. Kylie's Libra midheaven, Chiron and Mars line a conjunction with Tim's North Node, Pallas Athena, and Vesta, Charlotte, with your bloody mistakes. Vesta, not Vest. Vesta. It's an asteroid. I annoy myself. I should have. Anyways, too late to change it. We're doing this now. Okay. So, this is interesting. I just want to point out, I can't not talk about it. Kylie has been sexually exploited her whole life. Since the moment that she hit puberty, she has been sexualized. Mars is the phallus. Mars is sexuality. It's dick. It's the dick. It's ambition. It's your gung-ho. Like, it is the fire in your belly, the fire in your loins, your motivation, those things, right? The masculine things. She has Chiron, the wounded healer. She's got her phallus is wounded, the wounded dick, okay? Her dick is wounded, which means that she deals with rejection, public rejection on a daily basis. Like, people with Chiron on the midheaven often feel like they have no place in the world in terms of their profession, like their duty to society, like, what is my purpose? Because wherever you have Chiron is where you are wounded and where you are rejected. She has it on her midheaven. Now, Mars on the midheaven is someone who is a boss. That is an entrepreneur. That is someone that should be running a business, which she does. But the Chiron here makes it difficult because even though she runs her business, she's more of a creative director. I don't think she is a business brain. I think she's a creative brain. I think she's got a lot of that. Certainly Mars in Libra is someone that is going to be very interested in aesthetics and beauty and things of that nature. So, and especially with her midheaven in Libra, literally Libra's ruled by Venus, she is known for her beauty brands. She's also known for being very hypersexualized. Mars on the midheaven people can, in their public image and the way they come across to people in the workplace, can be hypersexual, alternatively aggressive. And she does have a hypersexual, sexually aggressive image. I don't think she's actually that way in her domestic world, in her everyday world. It's just her image. And then because she does that, she gets attacked for it. She's called old and ugly and all sorts of like untrue crap. She's not old and she's not ugly, okay? She's like, guys, people need to be kinder to her because she's deeply, deeply wounded and distressed and traumatized. So she goes out there looking sexy. She'll be praised for it, but equally she's going to get hate for it. With this Chiron Mars midheaven conjunction, it's not easy. Also, I do feel like with Chiron and Mars in a conjunction, sex has been used against her. Like, literally, like, I mean, guys, can we just be real for a moment? She was groomed. She was just, even before she was in a relationship, like, looking at those sisters, this hypersexualized sisters, that's what she had to live up to. From the moment she came out of the uterus, she was groomed. No one protected this poor girl. No one. That's my 2 cents. Now, this Chiron midheaven, Mars is sitting on Timothée's north node of destiny. All right, the north node is like the thing that you have to learn how to master. It doesn't have anything to do with his career. North nodes, the energy you have to master might have nothing to do with your job. Okay, very often it could do with family or money or spirituality, or in his case, his North Node in Libra is about learning to become more diplomatic, learning how to share, how to care, learning how to negotiate, and he has to come away from his South Node in Aries, which is much more self-centered, much more masculine and aggressive, much more like egoic and, self-centered. He's got to move towards Libra, which is about peace and harmony, communication. He has this playing out in his 3rd house of local community, friends, and peers. So he needs to learn how to negotiate, make friends, get along with his peers, get along with his siblings, that's the thing, that's the energy he has to master. His part of fortune's here, and his Chiron is also here. So I'm wondering if, and and this might never be publicly known because his North Node is in the 3rd house. It's not like anything to do with career. I feel like this is about developing a community, right? Maybe he'll become like boss of the actors union one day. Who knows? But like with this placement, but it's about achieving his genius because there's Pallas Athena here. Vesta's in Scorpio though here. It's not too far away, and Vesta is sacred protection, but yeah, he has to learn how to negotiate, share, care, negotiate, heal, like doing a lot of healing here. She helps him with that. So I'm wondering if she's introduced him to a new community of people that he will eventually like integrate into and keep, even if they don't stay with each other, he'll likely stay in contact with the connections that she's helped him make. She's like forged that for him, either on purpose or not. It could be just situational, but yeah, she helps him achieve his destiny. That's me putting it very simply. If someone's placements are on your North Node, they're going to help you get there. Even if it's an unpleasant experience, they're going to help you get there. I want to focus also on this IC. So his 4th house cusp, his IC lies in Scorpio. What else is in Scorpio? Kylie's moon. So I think he feels very comfortable with her. I think she fits nicely in his domestic sphere. She fits in with his world, like his private world, very well. Like I think that this is an intimate placement. This is a nice synastry. If someone's moon falls into your 4th house or falls into the same sign as your IC, it's going to feel nice. They're going to feel familiar. You can make a home together. It's nice. However, she's got a very public part of the chart. And I talked about this in my JFK Jr. And Carolyn Bessette reading earlier, where when you have a public house meeting a private house, it gets awkward. Her 11th house cusp and her 10th house, obviously, they fall into his 4th house of intimacy. Her public placements fall into his private houses. So it's going to draw attention. He's going to get scrutinized for his private life. And he has. Being with her has shone a light on lots of things. Lots, like his bad habits, his alleged poor behavior with women in the past, and like just some dark stuff. He also has Pluto on his IC. So potentially he's had some kind of, I don't know anything about this guy, but there's a difficult family life here. If you've got Pluto in your 4th house, you are the one who has to transform the karma. So yeah, it's you got to end those cycles. So that is there, and he's a very private guy. Even though he's a very public figure, he's a very, very private person because he has a lot of secrets. He's got a lot of information that he doesn't want the world to know. And obviously, being with Kylie is going to he might get found out for something, or his family might be found out for something, or right. So yeah, not an easy placement. Although overall, someone's moon falling to your 4th house is a good thing. But if it's a public house lying with a private house, then private things become public, and that's where it's a bit painful. Creating boundaries. Kylie's Virgo, North Node, Mercury, Venus, and Lilith in Tim's 1st house. She likes the way he looks. She likes the way he looks. If someone's rising is the same sign as your Venus, then you're going to find them, very attractive. Very attractive. Yeah. She thinks he's pretty, I know it's a very superficial synastry, but it's still really nice. So Venus and the Venus lies in the same sign as the ascendant. The North Node is here again. Like if someone has a placement, his ascendant, specifically for this synastry, falls into someone's North Node, they're going to take you where you need to go. Her North Node falls into her 9th house. I know it's in the 8th house, but because she's got 9th house Virgo, she's got Virgo on the 9th house cusp, this plays into that, which is travel, which is spiritual and intellectual expansion. Like, it's all about higher learning for her, and it's probably through love. I feel like with Venus, her Venus playing into the 9th house, she's probably going to fall in love with someone who's foreign to her. I mean, Timothée is French, right? I know he's American like her, but he's also French. So someone who's exotic, someone who is going to open up her world, like take her on the magic carpet ride, like at Aladdin style, right? Like it's gonna be, I can show you the world shining, shimmering. You know that one? That's what she wants. That's what she needs. People with a Venus playing into the 9th house, they will fall in love with someone who's either a lot older than them, a lot younger than them, someone who's from just a completely different world, like a foreign background, someone who speaks a foreign language. I mean, the dude is French, he speaks French. It makes a lot of sense here. And his ascendant is in the same sign as her 9th house. I know they're not in a conjunction, but they are in the same sign. So being with him is going to be, a spiritual, an intellectually stimulating, expansive experience. He's going to open up the world to her. And also her North Node's with Mercury. I'm wondering if she's going to go back to university. Maybe during or after her Saturn return, maybe her nodal return sometime in her 30s. But she wants to learn. I hope that for her. I want her to go to university. I want her to go get, a degree in Italy and learn about art or something. Do something like that. She needs that because her South Node is in Pisces in the 3rd house. No boundaries. Stuck in Calabasas with a bunch of people that don't care about anything important. And she's also exploited in that South Node. She's exploited on her midheaven. She's exploited in her South Node. And she needs to learn how to take control and learn to love herself. A North Node conjunct Venus is about learning how to love yourself. So even if she doesn't end up with Timothée for the rest of her life, he's going to show her how to have boundaries and how to love herself just by being with him. And since she's been with him, she's had a more clean girl aesthetic. She's taken out her, what do you call it, fillers. Since being with him, she's done some healthy things. Her destiny is to get healthy. I feel like with Lilith here, though, she needs to be free. Because if you have your North Node with Lilith, it can go two ways. You can end up like Lilith, free in the wilderness, which is great, fantastic. She needs to be free. She needs to travel the world. She needs to get her higher education. She needs to expand spiritually and intellectually. These are things she needs to do. And through that, learn to love herself. But she has to be free. Because if she's kept, if she gets married, if she's I could see her being very destructive, self-destructive. I don't think that she should get married. I think she could have a long-term love. I think she could have a life partner. But marriage just has too many complications. Anyway, being with him is going to show her how to get clean. I don't necessarily think she's into drugs or anything. But North Node in Virgo is about structure and boundaries. It's chaos. Virgo is still chaos, but it's orderly chaos. Her life is going to get busy, but it's going to get more... It's gonna have more boundaries, more self-love, more intellectual stimulation, and freedom. North Node playing into the 9th house is literally the freedom house. And Lilith loves to be free. I like this for her. She's a very good North Node. And she's an 8th house sun. Look at that poor little sun with no nice aspects. Of course she's gonna be a little bit codependent and want a boyfriend. She's very isolated. She's very, very isolated. She's not a typical Leo. A lot of Leos are look at me. And that's great. I love my Leos. I think they're my sister sign. I'm an Aries, at home signs and at home suns and exalted suns. We understand each other because we're both called narcissists. So let's just be that. But hers is in the 8th house. So she's someone that has a lot of secrets, is incredibly private. She knows everyone's information. She's not gonna even if she's not gonna talk, but it's a very heavy burden. She's a very burdened girl, very burdened. New enemies. Kylie's Cancer descendant conjunct Tim's Lilith. Ideally Kylie should be with a Cancer placement. She should be with someone with a Cancer sun, Venus, moon, whatever, something nice in her 7th house that is going to help balance out her chart. Someone who's just not a clout chaser, someone who probably isn't famous. which is hard because she's so famous. So obviously, she's going to be dating people who are in that world. Yeah. Anyway, his Lilith, which is the destructive feminine, and this doesn't mean he means to do it, okay? Because Lilith is not necessarily like a personal placement. It's not a planet. It's not like, a personal planet or anything. It's an energy. Being with her, them being together, is going to bring bitches into her open enemy circle. Like, the 7th house is partnerships, it's friendships, but it's also open enemies. And if his Lilith, the destructive feminine, is sitting on there, dating him is people gonna gossip about her. Like, when she went to the Golden Globes, everybody was like, why the fuck is she here? Oh, Kardashian Jenner, what the fuck is she doing here? Like, she saw people roll their eyes at her. She's seen it. She's hanging out with one of the most celebrated, charismatic actors of his generation. And she's like a pinup girl. She's like a little floozy, just like the rest of her sisters. So you can imagine, like, walking into that room with these triple A-list stars, Oscar winners, Golden Globe winners, and on his arm, and everybody's like, ugh. Like, people are, like, being with him is gonna make people talk and bitch. Specifically bitchy women. Bitchy, jealous women. So this is not a pleasant energy. He's not doing it on purpose. It's just something that it's the burden of the romance between them, is that she's gonna get bitches talk about her even more than they usually do. So yeah, it's not easy. Not easy. And his part of fortune's in her 6th house. I mean, being with him is an abundant energy. I don't know what her financial situation is. I have heard that she is going broke, but rich people broke. I think hanging out with him, having part of fortune there, might be quite nice. Like, if she's got to spend time at his place, or it's a nice abundant energy, basically. But there's nothing here. There's nothing. He doesn't have any placements that ground her into this 6th house. It's just, I mean, it's a nice energy to have part of fortune here, but it could be cute if he had like a Gemini placement, but he doesn't. Open secrets. Tim's Pisces 8th house moon lies in a conjunction with Kylie's 3rd house cusp and part of fortune. Oh boy, there's more enemies here. Okay, so the 3rd house is the local community, right? It's Calabasas, right? It's her hometown. She's got part of fortune here, so obviously that's quite lucky. I mean, it is an Aries, so it does play into her 4th house more, I suppose. She does have Saturn here. She has a lot of friends. I don't necessarily think that they are people that she has chosen. I think they're chosen for her. Like, hang out with this person, hang out with that person. Like, Saturn is work. Saturn is hard work, so maybe she has to associate people that she has to associate with people that her mum told her to associate with, or like, it's almost like that's where she runs business, in that 3rd house. Also, if I see that, if I read Saturn as a 4th house Saturn, which I should, there is a lot of difficulty with the family. There's daddy issues. I mean, Saturn retrograde is a disappointing father. Very often people with Saturn in their 4th house, or Saturn in the same sign as the IC, Saturn on the IC, is a father that has abandoned, like a la Marilyn Monroe, Saturn in the 4th house, like a father that has abandoned you, or there are restrictions and there are difficulties in the home, or home is where you do the hardest work, and that's also someone who's a cycle breaker. She is a cycle breaker. I think she's going to have to put a lot of boundaries up with her daughter to end the trauma cycle. So I think with this placement, she's actually a really, really good mum. I think she's very careful. I think now she's not allowing her kid to be photographed, which is great. But if I read Saturn as 3rd house, she's got a lot of difficulty with friends and associations. Like, she probably deals with people who are hanging out with her for clout, or it's a business deal, or her mum told her to, that kind of thing. And then he's got Moon and Saturn together. So he's got some mommy daddy stuff as well. And that's in the 8th house. He's got family secrets. Timothée has some things. He's got some things he doesn't want revealed. I have heard, I mean, I listen to Dumois for funsies. I don't take it too seriously. But apparently, Timothée has some skeletons in his closet. And when I look at this, I'm like, what skeletons are there? That's really fishy. His moon is on her 3rd house cusp. If someone has a sweet placement like that, they're going to feel like a best friend. I think they feel, even if they go on breaks or they break up and then they get back together, I feel like there is like a genuine friendship here. So that's cute. Moon in the 3rd house. Someone's moon is in your 3rd house. They're going to feel like your bestie. You know? They're 2 little kids playing in a sandbox kind of energy. I like it. Desire and disgrace. Kylie's Capricorn ascendant lies in a conjunction with Timothée's Sun, Mars, Mercury, Neptune, and Uranus. So, he finds her sexy. His Mars is in Capricorn, her ascendant's in Capricorn. Mars is the phallus, the ascendant is the face, its physical appearance. He likes the way she looks. He is attracted to her. I also think with Mercury in a conjunction, he thinks with his dick a little bit. And there's Neptune here. He's got the hook of Mars. He's got Uranus here. He's very, sex is like, even though Mars and Capricorn can be incredibly focused, which I'm sure he is when it comes to work, when it comes to sex, it's a bit, it's very messy. This Mars with Neptune and Uranus and Mercury, like, it makes for a fantastic actor, like someone who can really like master the craft of performance, especially in his 5th house. 5th house is like acting on a stage, right? So he's meant to be creative. The guy, even though he's heavy Capricorn, and we know Capricorns are like CEO energy and business, if it's a 5th house Capricorn, performance is his business. So this makes a lot of sense. But he's also a bit of a hedonist. 5th house is leisure and pleasure. And yeah, he gives me promiscuous energy. Yeah, Mars with the Neptune is the hook of Mars. Mars with Mercury thinks with his dick. I think with her ascendant here, she's a lot of fun. I don't want to say that she's here. I don't want to, because I say this about, like, normally I would say for him, she's here for a good time, not a long time. But Capricorn Mars, and I have a Capricorn Mars, so I know this. They prefer having a regular sexual partner. They prefer it. I feel like he's done a lot of fuckboy shit with this. But I also see him enjoying that, like a person on the regular, like sexually. I think he would prefer that. He would rather get experimental and do crazy stuff with one person or a few individuals. But this is still a very chaotic 5th house. You know, like if someone's offering up the punani, he'll grab it. You know what I mean? Like, he's a man. He's a 5th house Capricorn man, stellium. Like, I'm just... He has his Venus in Aquarius. Her Venus is in Virgo. His Venus is in Aquarius. They're not the best Venuses. I mean, her Uranus lies in a conjunction. She's got Jupiter here, so he has husband energy for her. I think he's got a lot of qualities that she would like in a husband, because if someone has their planet on your Jupiter, they're going to feel like a husband or a wife. That is the case here. But there's also just a lot of chaos, and maybe he likes that. Like, Uranus is like off and then it's on, and it's off and it's on. And Aquarius is the sign that is associated with Uranus. So this sporadic bursts of energy, and then it stopping and then starting up again, it's all very exciting. It would drive me insane. But I think the lifestyle and their work schedules, it might work for him. I don't know if it works for her, but I think that she's a naturally very submissive, cooperative person. Like, she's got a lot of Virgo, and she's got Virgo Venus and a Libra Mars. She's cooperative. She'll go with the flow. She will like do what she can to make it work. And the chaotic nature of her life does him well. You know, like if he's on a break, he can go do what he wants. Venus and Aquarius in a man, and even in a woman, it's a bit of a fuck boy Venus, fuck girl Venus. Like, it really is. They've always got another option. Like, okay, if this doesn't work out, I can move on. you know. Also, Venus in Aquarius wants to be, this is the thing with him, if he's going to be settled down with someone, he needs to be with someone that fits in with his friend group, because Venus and Aquarius, they need an intellectual connection, which I'm not sure if she provides. I feel like she's very emotionally intelligent. I don't think she's very like an intellectual yet. She's destined to learn how to become one, though. She's not just a pretty face. She will become smart. She is smart already, but she'll get smarter. That's because I talked about that North Node in the 9th house. But he is someone that wants to be, he wants to be with someone that can hang with his friends. She can't really do that. He's in this very elite world, this very elite artistic world. She's not an elite artist. She's an elite socialite, and she's hot, right? And she's a nice girl, and she's cooperative, but she's not an intellectual, and she's not an artist. She's just not. I think being with him is going to teach her how to be that way. But yeah, the chaotic nature of this relationship appeals to him. That's why they're off and on. Off and on, off and on, off and on. He can always go back to her, because she's submissive, you know? But also, there's a little bit of disgrace here. The reason why I labeled this disgrace is because these are malefics. Like, if you've got Neptune and Uranus lying in conjunctions with personal planets, it's going to disrupt your social life. It's going to make people look at you different. And I think it's very obvious that being together has gotten them into some trouble socially, or at least on the internet, right? Okay, so this is the last one. I'm just having a look at their chart all over, just to see if I've missed anything. You know how I talked about how he's very comfortable with her because her moon is in his, like, plays out in his 4th house, and that's a very warm, cozy energy. Like that, I think her going over to his house feels better than him going over to her house. Her house is chaotic. Her house is chaotic. His house is not chaotic. I think he's a bit of a sanctuary for her as well, and he feels comfortable with her at his home. But I look down here and look, does he have any personal Taurus placements? No, he has a midheaven in Taurus. She's got an IC in Taurus. Again, we have the meeting of a public and private house, but there is nothing here that's anchoring her. He doesn't anchor her into her home. She anchors him into his home, but he doesn't anchor her. He doesn't anchor her into her home. I reckon in this relationship, I don't think he's been disrespectful or anything, but hanging out in the Kardashians' home with all those cameras is a put off for him. Like, he's got he goes to work with cameras in his face. The last thing he wants to do when he goes home and makes love to his woman, he doesn't want another camera in his face. So yeah, yeah, it's not the easiest here. It's nice here, and even then it's an intrusion. But yeah, there's nothing anchoring her. I think this is where there's nothing here. Like, he's got no planets in her 7th house of partnership, except for this Lilith, which is not a planet. It's just nasty. And then he's got no placements really in her 6th house of everyday work and routine, her 5th house of joy, and her 4th house of home. He's got nothing here. And that's why this relationship, I'm just like, I see the connection. I see the romance. I see the love and the lust. I see that. Sometimes it's not enough. Like, you need someone to anchor you and to give you a home. She can do that for him. She's accommodating. She can do that. He can't do that with her. Also, I will say the one positive, one of the positives here is that with his Chiron and his Vesta and his Pallas Athena sitting on the top of her chart, being with him is going to make her look more intelligent. It's going to make her look more legit. Like, so it's like healing. It makes her look more serious being with this guy, because before she was with him, she would kind of look like another Bratz doll with a face full of filler. And, you know, now that she's been with him for a while, she looks healthier. I think she looks great. I think she looks amazing. I don't know what people are going on about saying she looks old. I think she looks her age. So yeah, anyway, people be nice to her. She's suffered enough. Like, sometimes money doesn't make you happy. You know? Be glad you don't have a life where you got cameras in your face all the time. And, like, it's like, fame is literally scary. Like, I'm kind of afraid of it myself. I'm just like, it's no walk in the park. Anyway, Guys, that's it for now. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. And yeah, if you want a reading, MP3s, link below, DM readings, go to my Instagram, follow me on there. And yeah, if you'd like to join my members and watch me travel around Japan and talk about astrology, you can do that too. It would be a great way to financially support me. Thank you so much. Bye.